Yeah. What up out there? Yes, sir. Yeah. It's your boy Dude. 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 Holla at me, boy Dude. It's your boy Dude. What up, baby? We got a hot one in the studio tonight, man. We gonna come through, man. We gonna come through tonight. I'm gonna come through with y'all, man. Take y'all on a journey, man, about the Super Bowl in New Orleans, man. Got some special guests on here, man, tonight that gonna talk that shit tonight, man. We gonna talk about some stuff. We gonna talk about the upbringing in New Orleans. We gonna talk about the safety concerns of the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Make sure you tune in to this whole entire podcast, because I promise you, you don't want to miss it, baby. It's your boy Dude. It's your boy Dude. With that being said, we're gonna bring our guests in, man.
Head on to check the pressure outside.
Geo Jones in, man. I'm gonna bring my boy B Love in the building, you understand? B Fly, most known around the city, you understand me? But hey, man, we gonna get into it tonight, man. We gonna talk that shit, man. There's a lot of people out there want that shit get talked, so you know your boy Dude always bring y'all the realest. We gonna always keep it 100. We don't want that shit to ever be downplayed to you, but we want you to tune in, baby. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure you hit that notification button. With that being said, man, we gonna talk about the shit that's going on in the world today, man. We gonna talk about this shit because it's got to be talked about, you hear me? It's Delete That Podcast, baby, and we going live today, baby. We got Geo Jones in the building. What up, Geo?
What's up?
B Fly, what it do, baby?
Man, same old, new day, different way.
That's right. Hey, man, we got to do what we could do, and then we carry the rest of the weight on our backs. You feel me?
All day.
Hey, man, before you get started, bro, I just want to throw a nice shout out, bro, to the B Spot, man, for the tragic incident that happened earlier this week. I know they're going to bounce back. But on New Street in New Orleans, club in New Orleans, they had a tragedy this week, bro. We gonna bounce back, baby. That being said, carry on.
Yes, sir, man. Geo, that's my boy Geo Jones, man, from the city, man. You know, he came with it a little quick on me. You understand me? We gonna always show that love. We was gonna get to it, but not since we there. We gonna talk about it now a little before my show when I did, but hey, man, listen, man, shout out to my brother, man. B, baby, we love you, baby. You understand? Keep your head up, man. You know what I mean? The vision is what it was. It ain't impaired. It's still there. The foundation still remains. It's sort of like the Nebuchadnezzar story, right? You know what I mean? Where he said that tree stump still was there. And he was trying to figure out what the tree stump was that still was there after the tree was cut down. And say, hey, man, your foundation gonna remain, but I got to bring you through some things to bring you back up. So shout out to my brother, man, Robbie, man, and the B Spot, man, and Brian, man, much love to y'all, baby, you know what I'm saying? The Terrence Lounge, the AKA Terrence Lounge. Let's put it like this here, AKA Terrence Lounge.
That's right. Right.
It goes a little deep.
Boy, that was a historical spot, Terrence Lounge. Boy, listen.
Right.
Listen, the things happen in there, around there, and outside of there, back in them 90s.
Yes,
boy.
Yes, sir, man.
Historic area.
Historic, man. And that it raised a lot of people in that era with the Terrence Lounge, man, right down on Newton Street, man. Like, we got so many stories to tell from just Newton Street alone, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's right.
It was moments. It was moments, man.
A lot of many soldiers, a lot of fallen soldiers in that area,
man. Yes, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to one of my closest comrades that just passed away, man. Old Bo Knows, man. That was hard. And Wendell, man. That was two soldiers I lost. I loved a lot too, man. Right. So
man. Old Bo was a character, bro, and a real one.
Yeah, a real one too. A real one, bro.
I had the pleasure of running the time, bro, at Club J's, about 2 days before he took it out.
Wow, man.
2
Yeah,
years before
You
you
know,
had
look, that made me want to say this, right? Man, fellas, take care of your health. Go
yeah,
get them
That's right.
checkups.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
That's right.
everything you could do, take care of your health.
Lose
Because that was
exposure.
truly
That's right.
unexpected.
right, right.
That's right.
And
You
that,
gotta go get the blood pressure checked, man, and go get your cholesterol checked. It's a must.
yeah, it is, man. It is, man, because it's a silent killer, man. A lot of times things go on in life, man. But hey man, I brought you guys, man. I'm glad you guys was able to stop in, man, and talk some of this shit with me. You know what I mean? But just a little going back to some genealogy and the history of New Orleans, man. And right now we have a big time event that's coming up in New Orleans, bro. And like that's why I think it's so important that we share up on it and talk about it, man, because even though we know what time of day it is, man, but it's safety concerns right now in New Orleans surrounding the Super Bowl, right? And it was because of the prior incident for the big bowl game, man. Rest in peace to the families, man, and that have lost loved ones. May they find peace inside that situation, because in comfort, to be content. You know what I mean? To stand strong, because I know that's still weighing on them. And and the concerns of families that's going on to the city right now, man. We want to be considerate of those families that want to be there and that's partaking, and families coming from out of town. What's the uncertainties and things like that? But they've been putting a lot of safety measures in place, from what I'm understanding. Can you talk more about that, Gio? And you've been seeing some things.
Yeah, they done put some things in place, man, and it's well deserved, well needed, and that's cool. But I'm gonna tell you how I look at it. I look at it like a plane crash, man. When the plane crashes, one thing you can guarantee, that whatever happened with that particular plane crash, it will be a minute before that particular incident happened again. For example, with the chopper and the plane crashing in DC.
Rest in peace.
Once we figured, yes, rest in peace. Big shout out to him, salute. But once we figured that out and what happened, we ain't got to worry about that happening again. With that being said, because of this tragedy that happened prior to the Super Bowl, New Year's night, I think we're a little safer than we was before. And everybody has their head on a swivel, out for the fucking foolishness and the BS. But with that being said, man, the city is a vibe. And I'm telling you, ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody scared right now.
Say nobody ain't scared.
I don't think the safety concerns are as big as people would blow them up to be, right? Because we know with terrorism and stuff like that is a window of opportunity, right? So you took your window of opportunity to go with that move for New Year's.
Yes, sir.
So now for sure they're gonna have way more security for the Super Bowl, way more agents in town, way more police on the street. So I don't think I know the locals anyway, because we have built-in forgetters and we resilient, right? We not as concerned as maybe per se tourists might be, right? But I don't think it's a big large concern on the security of it, But I know they done beautified downtown. It looks good downtown,
It look good. It's a vibe, brother. It's a vibe.
It's a
Absolutely.
Vibe. Hey. And bro, I mean, I have some people down there right now. It's crazy too, man, because I was supposed to get them some more locations to go to visit while they down there right now, which they come back. Matter of fact, they come back tomorrow. But they down there, man. It was some of them first time down there, and really I didn't know directly when B Place happened to the B Spot. I really didn't. That was the place I was
Sunday morning.
Yeah, man. So when it unfortunately they couldn't experience that, man, with the tragedy inside that, man. But with that being said, just the vibe, like we said, the vibe. People come down there for the vibe, man. They come down there and enjoy Canal Street shopping and Bourbon Street.
Rich culture, baby. We have a very rich culture here, man.
you still have treadmill, you have under the bridge, over the bridge, cross the river, everywhere, right? So it's so much of New Orleans to experience, and as a tourist, you really don't get to see the true New Orleans, right? You don't get to see that, and you kind of see the outskirts of it. Hear people talk about it, and say, "Oh man," and you see stuff on the news, and it make you think, "Oh, it's so." But just understanding the culture of just the vibe of the scene, the club scene, the real nightclub. Now you get Bourbon Street, you know what I mean? That's just bar hopping, and you kind of getting that, you know what I mean? You understanding that, but just with that being said, man, I like to dig into on the topic of saying, getting back around the Super Bowl, just coming up and know the streets, man, and surviving the stats, right? The statistics, which most people identify as. But with that, man, just let's bring the people through a journey, man. What you guys experienced, just your upbringing, you know what I mean, in New Orleans, man.
I'm gonna let you go, B. Go ahead, man.
I mean, I could take that. It's funny because I'm in a position in a place right now where you reflect on life in its totality, right? And I would say that my upbringing in the generation I came, the 80s, to the early 90s as an adolescent, it was cool, because I remember growing up, and y'all, we all got our bikes and we'll ride our bike from downtown to City Polk or uptown to City Polk or up Magazine Street. We used to do the little go-kart things that we used to make. Y'all remember them little go-kart things? What they call them?
The one with
they motorized now. They done put the little motor, the scooter. Remember we used to make them out of wood back in the day.
It was called a skate-mobile.
A skate-mobile. You know what I'm saying,
right? Had skateboards. It was called a skate-mobile.
So you
skate-mobile, right?
So what you saying? They took a hood idea and made millions off it.
Right. They absolutely did that, right? But then we had every neighborhood had a park, and almost every park had a pool, right? Yeah. So during the summer, you could go to dang near your neighborhood. They had pools. Then the sports scene was popping. You had Noah was doing this thing, right? So my young childhood, from birth to we gonna say about 14, it was a nice place, until we all know the whole United States that went through this, right? The crack epidemic hit.
Crack epidemic,
right?
Yeah.
And I watched my neighborhood and the neighborhood of New Orleans go,
crazy. They went crazy.
Go insane, because now we poverty stricken, and the crack that hit the neighborhood. So now you can't really even trust the dude that you shot marbles with when you was 7, 8 years old.
Right.
Right.
Because the environment changed and the mindset changed. It went from, happy-go-lucky playing basketball and football in the streets to I got to get this bread because it's just me, my mom, and my little brother.
Right. And, and it was so, and I think it was so feasible and so easily to just basically obtain a way to get on, like it was nothing, right? And just saying that your ultimate goal was to live like the movie stars, like you believe that you could accomplish the American dream through it, right? They made you believe that because you saw the flash of cars and guys coming up real fast, man, and you're seeing a change overnight. You're seeing Cinderella stories for real. Don't worry about the glass slipper coming off; it just went on, and he up. You know what I'm saying? So you saw a culture shock wave that happened, and every project was
right before your eye.
Right, and every project was different. Right, every project was pushing different things. Like you had one project was just known for PCP. You know what I mean? like you want to go flying.
That was the
you
Fisher.
Want to go flying, they can send you flying.
That's right. Hey man, St. Bernard had the big buffers.
You know
what I'm saying? And we all know what the St. Thomas had.
Right. So you saw it change so fast, man, and the string of killings that happened in the process wasn't as frowned upon as it is now, right? It was like it was so plentiful that it was like you kind of glorified the violence.
Right.
I was
Right.
just about to say that. Like,
Yeah.
I remember going to certain clubs once I crossed over, because I mean, I don't know how much you talk about on this podcast, but me and you actually met in a juvenile detention center. You know what I'm saying? That's where we met at. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. So and
cut.
that was our training ground. I hope
Right.
I didn't
Nah.
throw you under the bus with that one. You know what I'm
Exposed
saying?
too much, huh?
Nah,
But-
you did.
But what was going on back then is they was crack hit the neighborhood, so then they start throwing us in jail for anything at an early age, right?
Right.
And I
Right.
think when me and you met, we
Right.
both,
Putting you in the system at an
yeah,
early
you know,
age.
and when me and you met, we was on some pretty serious charges to be juveniles
Right.
at the time, but the whole city was in there.
Right.
What went on
Right.
back then was all the key players for the 90s was in that juvenile facility with us,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
we-
Everybody that made a wave in the 90s.
yeah, everybody that made a wave was in that juvenile facility.
Right.
Upon coming home, everybody went their way. But what we did was build connections and relationships in other neighborhoods, right? Because I was telling somebody this other day,
Right.
I'm from New Orleans. I don't gang bang, I war bang, right?
Right. Right.
I'm from the 8th
Right.
ward. That's where I'm from. I
Right.
represent the 8th ward, right? So
Right.
you from the 3rd ward, you represent the Callio. So back then it was like the Callio stayed with the Callio, the 8th ward stayed with the 8th ward,
Right.
the 15 stayed with the 15. But them throwing us in that juvenile jail together, I met somebody from the 15th ward. So when I
Right.
got out, now I could go hang in the 15th ward with that particular individual, and he
Right.
could come hang in the 8th ward with me, you
Right.
know, and that's what started the killing. If you
Right.
ask me, when you started intercrossing neighborhoods,
Right.
and now you
Right.
got these strange dudes in your neighborhood coming
Right.
around there getting more money than you, so
Right.
now you on some.
Yeah, that's what did it. They want what you got, not the neighborhoods. They want what you got. I was able to go to neighborhoods all across this thing, but my path was a little bit different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got caught up in that drug trade as well, but by me playing sports and being able to play basketball as I was able to do, I was able to go across this city and play in any park, in any ward, in any hood, and establish relationships like that. And once I got it with the organized ball playing in high school, shit, everybody became, man, we just New Orleanians. Let's go find somewhere to hoop. Let's go find somewhere to ball.
Right.
But then once that stopped and that basketball stopped dribbling,
Right.
and the other stuff started bubbling, it now becomes a different story now. I can't come over to where you at right now and play ball because I ain't playing ball. The ball I'm trying to play, you don't want me to play in your neighborhood now.
Right. And man,
You know what I'm saying? So now it becomes a different beast now.
Right. I think for it.
And that's it. That same neighborhood that I was able to go and play ball in the 9th ward and in Starling's gym in the 9th ward and you know and on Napoleon. Once the ball stopped dribbling, you couldn't do that no more. You just can't go in and people said talking about I'm coming to jail. No, man, you come in the cell product. And that's where the beefing started, man. The killing. No, you're not about to come over here.
And you know, I know I could speak for me. It would change a lot for me coming from uptown to on the West Bank. What changed it was just like B said. It was just crossing over, right? Even though I had a lot of respect because I played ball and people knew me from sports, but once I moved completely to that side and got out of the high school I was in, it created someone else over there. You know what I mean? I went from being an athlete to where I had to become something else because of my surroundings, right? and it was the crossover because it's either, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna be tried either you lay your law down or you're gonna be tried. So my only understanding was turn up, right? Because we thought that was normal. I thought it was okay. I thought that's what I was raised in, coming up in the Calliope projects. Like, you saw violence, you saw drama, you saw crime, you saw drugs. That was normal. I found drugs as a young kid running through the projects. I didn't know it. That's how I first got introduced to how to semi-deal it. Right, and I found a stash of puffies in the in the on the side of the post. I was playing. I was doing what a kid do, play. You know what I mean? And I found it, and at the time, my mom was always she was staying on the West Bank already, and my grandmother just was still in the project. So we used to just love to be there because we was already in school there. So right, so my 6th grade year, my whole entire class, the principal foreclosed the 6th grade and shut it down for the returning year just so it could skip our class.
Come on.
Yeah, as Savannah F. Williams, I'll never forget that. We caused so much problems in elementary. Every time there was a fight, something happened. Like, they came got me, right, and they'll come get all us. But they told my mom and my grandmother at the time, like, anything happened, he gets suspended, and they suspended me for anything that was happening. So our 6th grade year, they didn't have 6th grade. Everybody had to go to Durham for 6th grade. Then they came back. My mom was like, you coming with me. So she brought me on the West Bank in my 6th grade year, and it was crazy because there was so much shit at 32, man. When I first got there, they had the little junior hit crick crew and all this kind of stuff. So you had dudes with all this crazy shit going on in school. They little gangs from off that side of the hump.
At a young age.
So I had to make decisions. You know what I mean?
At a young age.
So I get into a fight in elementary with this guy, and by Trey Bazaar, he gets he gets dropped, and then like that kind of gave me a little name for myself, right? And then I got to junior high that following year and went to Carr. They kicked me out after 1 year. Kicked me out. So.
Well, sound like you telling my story.
So after that, it was like, okay, you're kicking me out.
Like you're telling my story.
School. What should I do? I know how to do this, right? And sports was my love, but I knew how to do that too, right? Because I watched it, and it was a norm for us, man. So, I mean, like, for me, it just went, once that stage hit of saying 11 and 12, like, I think at 9 or 10, I got first time I had went to juvie. So it was crazy for me. Like, I was young, get caught up doing shit in the projects, and by the time I hadn't got to high school, I had been to juvie twice. So once I got to junior high, shit, it was the 3rd time. That's where me and B locked up at, and ever since then it been, you know what I mean? It been crazy. When I tell a full circle, how Gio first came to the encounter, man. I mean,
hold up. I was about to jump in on that. She went from a different aspect at that point. She kind of shift gears a little bit. It went to a more adult side.
I said, that's some story to tell.
It went to a more adult side. Again, hey man. Salute.
Man, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I be having these little moments of, damn, I'm still alive.
Right. That's the surviving part.
Say, big dog. With that being said, I feel that, but at the same time, I've been left out to go about 20 years ago, about 15 years ago.
Right.
Because nigga felt suspect about that where we from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You really wasn't even tripping on that aspect. I already know what my destiny is.
And that's why I be feeling like that, because I wasn't expecting to be here.
Right. So when once you hit a certain spot, bro, a certain age, a certain time in your life, that thought right there, man, no, that goes out the door.
What?
It goes back to what you said, opening up the
What?
spot. Nigga, I want to live now. I'm going to the
Yeah.
doctor
Let me
now.
ask this. Let me ask this, B. Why you felt like that? Expound more on why you felt that way.
Because to see this be on the internet, so I have to like really pick my words wisely. You know what I'm saying? The lifestyle I lived when I was a young man was so outrageous and so wild that most people didn't think I was gonna make it past the age of 20, right?
Right.
And it was filled with violence, drug abuse, and everything else, right? So at a certain point in my life, I was rushing towards death.
Right.
And then I blinked my eyes,
Oh,
right?
okay.
I blinked my eyes,
Right.
and it's like, oh snap, I'm 40, right?
Right. Right.
Now, granted,
That's right. That's right, brother.
so granted, in between my 20s and 40, I changed my life and started raising my children and everything, but I still
Right.
was on edge all the time, right?
Right.
Because sometimes
That's right.
you
That's
do
right.
certain things that
Ooh.
you feel like you can't be forgiven for.
Right.
So now you got to watch everywhere you
Right,
go, who
right.
you allow around you, and all these other kind of things, right?
Right.
So
Right.
now I'm where you at, Gio, right? I'm there, right? Like, dang, I ain't did nobody nothing in a long time. So
Right.
nobody shouldn't want to do me nothing,
That's
right?
right.
Right?
That's right.
But it's
That's
still
right.
like, dang, I made it this far. If
Well,
that
you-
make any sense.
Well,
That's right, bro.
well,
I have them same
I'm gonna tell you
thoughts,
this,
brother.
man.
Yeah, you know, every now and then, you know, you look back. It's called reflection. You know, you
Well,
look back
I'm
on
gonna tell
that.
you something even bigger, man. Like what you speaking on, what you spoke on, man. We had a segment where we ran, and I spoke on it back then, where we had teachers and older people telling us we wasn't gonna make it to see a certain age, right? And we
That's
brought
right.
into
That's right,
that,
brother.
so we live more wildly because you told us that. So we was like,
That's
so
right.
that's how you feel.
Reckless.
So fuck everything. I'm gonna show you that's how it is, then, right?
That's
Let's
right.
do. Not mean to cut you
Never
off.
looked at it like that, brother.
So
But you're
you
right.
just said teachers and other.
Yeah.
My daddy used to give me $100 for my birthday, hug me, and say, "I hope you make it to next year."
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. And that was seeds that was planted, right? Which was only because of the lifestyle choices we was making and living. Like right now, we can see people today and say, man, you keep that up. Basically what they were saying, if you keep that up, you ain't gonna make it to see, right? But we were still by grace covered to
Right.
be still here, right? By prayers of our ancestors and things like that. It wasn't by no luck. You have people say the craziest, say, I was lucky, nigga, I made it out. No, you wasn't lucky. You were here for a purpose.
That's right.
God kept you for a purpose. He covered you and kept you here for a purpose, right? Each one of us was kept for a purpose, man. Like
Absolutely.
we celebrated. The crazy part, we watch kids right now. I watch a lot of kids. They celebrate when they make 21. Oh, I could get into the clubs, and they get all excited and blah blah blah. And we was more like, they told me I was gonna make it to see 21. I'm 20. So we had a different motivation to what we was excited about, right? What we saw and what we felt and what we celebrated. They celebrated accommodations. They celebrate accolades and monetary gifts, and we celebrate life for real, right? So we celebrate the accomplishments of saying, when they say 18, I got the 18, and you live in scarcely because you didn't heard those people say this over and over, and every time you make that age, you pray, you be like, he told me I want to go, and we celebrated that, right? Like driver's license wasn't even important to us. I don't think I got a driver's license. I was after 21. I had more tickets than I had driver's license.
But I didn't get my driver's license. I was 30.
But hold up, listen to this. It wasn't that you was scared when you made it to that age. You was like, well, fuck, I made it to this age, nigga. I can keep living like I'm living right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It hurt me. It hurt me so far. So fuck, I must be doing something right. So you continue to live recklessly. Then you hit 21. Whoa, now I'm legal around this bitch. I'm about to
Yeah.
get right now. But you continue to live
Yeah.
recklessly. You continue to live recklessly. And that's what, and say, bro, I'm going to say it like this. Bro, you can criticize the young people today. You can say you don't like the young people music or the young age of fucking hip hop or rap. I'm gonna say get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit because of the fact we was them niggas.
Right.
Yeah.
We was them niggas. You try to school and educate them, and you're gonna reach one or two. But if you don't reach the one that you're trying to reach, you gotta understand.
I'm gonna hit you with something that's gonna mess you up off that statement though.
So
we was them, but we didn't have social media to publicize.
Right
now.
Listen.
Oh man, hit the button,
right
man.
now. Right now, the influence level is high. The accessibility to influence is high, right? They are more accessible to the influence than what we were. We was only influenced by our peers, what surrounded us, right? Our environment. We was conducive to that environment. We was slaved inside our minds, and we was programmed. We were self-incarcerated. So we were self-imposed on ourselves that we were supposed to be like this, right?
Joe, let me jump in on that. Let me jump in on that one just slightly, brother. Check it. All right, I'm going back to you to what the statement where you and B met. Y'all met in the juvenile facility. I worked there, bitch, just a couple of years ago. And see what you just said, brother. We didn't have social media because I think we would all be a little bit deeper. If we did.
Right. Be advanced.
You know what I'm saying? Because we did the same stupid ass shit they doing, but they're posting it for likes.
Right. When
they got a cat, man. I'm talking about, every cat that's over there in the juvenile facility, Millennium Boys Home. You cats, you niggas know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? What that 4100 Milton Street?
Yeah.
You niggas know what I'm talking about.
I've been there before.
Come on, you know where I'm at, brother. Bro, but over half of the kids that's over there, dude, is over there not because of what they did. It's because of what they did on social media.
Right. And like you said, it's for the likes, right? When there's no more, I think because we was coming out of a Sicilian era, right? And what I mean by that is when you think about the Italians and all of the history of that coming up through those times, that people tried, especially the black culture, tried to structure family, try to do the same thing, and they ended up getting hit with organized crime as they learned about it. But that had been the mindset because we watched so many old gangster movies and films and this and that, and we are creatures of habit. We see things, it inspires us, and it depends. It depends on how it inspires you, right? And for us, because of our environment of poverty, it inspired us to want more. So it inspired us to want to do that.
Boy, that's right.
So that was, we saw opportunity, we saw light, we saw, you know what I mean, a hope there, right? Even though sports existed around it, but it wasn't cool to be a nerd. It wasn't cool to go to college. You was considered cool if you was out here, if you was off that poach. When we was talking about being off that poach at a young age, right? When some cats, you tell the kids that now, you say, man, you've been off the poach a minute, now they ain't gonna know what you're talking about. You standing on business, or I'm standing on business. You don't even know what business is, right? So I see it a lot for me in the setting that I work in, man, and I see so many, bro, and I just sometimes I just shake my head like I understand you, I do, but I see how you are built, and I know you couldn't survive in none of the places I have walked through.
You ain't
Like
built like that.
you,
You're not
especially
built like
during the
that.
time and era of things, right? It didn't got more easier to go to jail in time. Right now, it done got more easier to go to jail. Like when it's more awareness now, and it's more
Yeah,
vocal.
because
And what you
in
say?
our generation, it was really harder to get caught.
Right, right,
You know, like
right,
you know, you didn't have camera phones, you didn't have
Right.
social media.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Nobody
Right.
getting
So you could commit a
polarized
bunch of
camera to
acts
take a picture.
yeah, you know, you could commit a bunch of acts and get away with it. I remember for a long time, because of my name, I was misconstrued with a cat from Uptown that I wouldn't even knew him from a can of paint, but our name was similar.
Right,
So
right,
I know for a fact that we caught some of each other charges and not going to jail catching them, but just in the streets.
right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying? Because we
right.
had the same name. So if the word got out that I did a certain thing, they're associated with him because our name was similar. And if he did a certain thing, they're associated with me, which kind of made both of our names bigger than what they probably would have been if we wouldn't have got mixed up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let me ask, let me
Go ahead,
ask you
go ahead, brother.
on the notion of surviving, right? The flip side of it, the surviving part now, right? Which I call something bigger than just surviving, man. You know what I mean? But it's life after tragedy. It's life after so much, man. You done been through a lot. We done all been through a lot. We done had loss of this. Tell me about how you managed to do the surviving part of that. Tell me the surviving part of what you've lost or experienced losses, and how did you maintain and become where you at now, you know, minus your circumstances, but to become the person you became right now at this moment. How would you, if someone was walking in your shoes, what advice would you give them on how to survive, how to make it out?
Man, I'm gonna tell the truth, boy. My mom and my grandma and them, man, raising me with a spiritual connection, right?
Okay.
Being raised with a spiritual connection. Also, on top of that, being raised by some uncles that taught me to always be aware, right?
Right.
Always, you know, they had that trust no one mentality, right? So even in the midst of me and you was best friends, right?
Right.
But in
Right.
certain situations we might have been in going to do some stuff, I'm still looking at you like I trust him, but I got, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
but I ain't about to turn my back right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think over time, we just got to the point where we was one unit. Enough things was done, enough trust was earned that, you know, it was good. And then on top of that, you start only doing certain things with certain people.
Right.
Like, see, at a certain point, I knew how you was built. So off the dump, if I've got something that's going on, I'm coming to get you. And you know, we had periods where we might not hang together for years.
Right.
But I'm gonna pull up on that West Bank and say, look, dog, I got this here going on. You know, I need your assistance. And the assistance is given, and then you go back your way, I go my way, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a key to longevity as well.
Right.
You know?
Right. And finding, well, Gio, more on your side before I go there, Gio, you got something you want to add on just surviving, on how you get to the point to where you at right now in life, your obstacles and overcoming them?
Man, yeah. Hey, bro, my motto is every day I get up, it's a beautiful day to be alive, healthy, and free. Now, what you do in that day gonna determines your outcome of that night. You know what I'm saying? So again, I tell every nigga and every nigga, make a wise decision and think about what you about to do, and does the consequences outweigh the shit that you about to do?
Right.
And from that way, brother, like I say, watch this here, man. I've been in some compromising situations. even with the host.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have on some situations where I tell a mother, I tell the other cat, fuck the host, bro. You bitching now, but nevertheless, we make
Right.
it through that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And every day I get up, bro, it's a beautiful day. And I want the people out there to know this and say this with me. It's a beautiful day to be alive, healthy, and free.
Oh yeah, definitely. Every day.
Every day. Those three things. Now watch this here. 2 out of the 3 is not bad. See, if you're alive and healthy and you're not free, nigga, you're still good.
Right.
But man, if you're not alive, or brother, if you're alive and you're not healthy,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're not fucking free. That's how I live my life, brother, and I try to stay out of other people's way. And that works for me. That works for me.
I can tell you, like, for me, like, this off just the tragedy side of this saying of coming up and everything we experience, and people be like, well, that see me and be like, man, I can't believe what you do now. I can't believe, like, and they hear it and they just be stunned by some of the things, right? It would, for me, I was put in a position to have to rely on something greater than money, greater than relationships and networking. It was greater than anything that exists in this world, and I had to rely on God, right? And he brought me through some stuff, man, where I saw the worst of the worst of the way a man can live, a human can live, until coming out of Lodabar and saying that I seen light and hope, and made a promise to him that if he was to show up this time for me, that I would dedicate pouring back into kids' lives, right? Because I had misled so many people to a false lifestyle and to debt, to many of them, thinking that what we was taught as a normal circumstance and situation really wasn't normal in New Orleans. That was chaos. That was drama. That was debt, dark clouds, right? So and I thought for the longest I was invincible, right? I had them believed in my mind that I was invincible, that I was untouchable. I survived the game. I done warred with people. I done been at odds with weapons and of mass destruction for humans, and still be blessed enough to say I escaped unscathed, and blah blah blah, and these things, until it hit something that I didn't expect it to hit, and I lost my son. Right when my son was gunned down in Texas, it shifted me. It shifted something in my world, because it tested the inner core of me and everything I had restrained over the years to rebuild and create a better image, to be a modern citizen to the community, to be an asset instead of a devaluer, like to be this person of, you know, moral values, to be someone could count on, just to be that light, right? I was tested to my inner core because I was faced with something that I was faced with previous when it was friends, and I knew how far I went for my friends that wasn't my blood. Now it's my blood, and it's like, what do you do now? Because you talking all that change shit, you talking about all this, you about the kid. What you gonna do now? We done took yours. And I had friends, God bless their soul, that no longer here, that called me over the phone and was like, man, what you gonna do about it, man? I'm like, bro, my son was wrong. Fuck all that, man. That's your son, man. We on our way out there. I'm gonna call you back, man. I don't need that, right? What I needed was time. Right, the most important thing we have in life is time. What I needed was time, moments of time to change what just happened, moments a time to have more with him, to probably had told him something to make him make another decision that day. I needed time, right? So I had to find time within myself to regain sanity, to realize that I'm not invincible. And that was God's way of showing me that
Right.
I wasn't where I should have been.
I could be
I
touched
said I
too.
was going to do this, and I wasn't fully
Right.
committed. And because I didn't value it, let me take some things from you. Let me allow some things to be taken from you. Let me put it like that. Let me take the covering off some things. So when it became my own son, and I was forced with a decision, and I chose to leave the state, and people was like, you can't just pack up and leave that fast. I knew what was best for me at that time, because had I stayed, the direction I was turning back to, people like to say 360, right? I don't say 360. 360 just mean I just turned in a complete circle and I ended up back where I was at. So that 180 turn when I went in another direction and then put another, I was getting ready. I was at like 225, almost back in the three. Like I was going in the wrong direction, right? Real shit. Yeah.
You said my nigga
I was
over there
at 225. It's supposed to be going the other way, right? It's supposed to stop at 180, and now it's overballing. And I was my dad, God bless his soul. You know, there's a story about my dad I tell in the later segment who he truly was, but my dad came and it shook my mom because she was like, what you doing here? And my dad, like, I'm here for my grand. And she was like, you ain't here for him. You badly know. And now don't come up here and get my child in trouble, because my dad came with one understanding that it was blood required that blood, man. You know, it was blood for blood. And I wasn't mentally stable at the time or prepared for that. And my brothers called me and like, you know why dad did that, right? I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. But because we was taught to protect family, right? We was taught you protect family, man, at all costs, right? If you gonna put it on the line, you put it on the line for family. And this was a test of measures for me as I weakened because I had then tore that vicious man down. I had then finally captivated him enough to walk in light instead of darkness, right? But it had impacted me so much, man, that I had to leave. And when I left, I came back and God blessed me with thousands of kids, man, that I looked at as my own and started telling them I love them, and I love them. And the more I said I love you to another kid, the stronger I became. It's crazy because the more love I gave, the more strong I became. It wasn't that the love I got strong. It was the love I was giving out. I had to shut down on my family, my wife, my kids. Like I was giving love outside the house, and my family was suffering in the process because I didn't know. I was scared to love them the same because I was hurt so bad by losing my son. I didn't want to love something else that close to me again, right? So I had to relearn how to love my family, relearn how to love people, but I was steady giving it. I understood I had to give it, but my family was feeling the wrath of me not giving it to them because I was drawing from them and giving it all out, and I wasn't caring about what's right there next to me. And then I had to learn to heal from that, right? And then that's when you start getting better. So that's what caused me to survive more than anything, me understanding the love that I was reaching other households, and I was breaking generational curses. I was breaking racism in households because I'm teaching every ethnic background as I coach football and as I do this. So I'm breaking what's being taught. You're going to always understand that every black person you see is not evil. Every black person, what they told you, and you gotta know, I met this culture. And every white person, because you see it vice versa. That's why you see kids clean. Everybody, there's a bad apple in every bunch. But to survive after tragedy, to survive, to find survival, you have to find that within yourself, man, and find that sanity and realize why God kept you. What's your purpose in life? I read a book, The Purpose-Driven Life, in those situations I was in, and I read that book multiple times, man. And I always came back to the same conclusion. We already know our purpose. But now our talents and our gifts are probably different. How are we going to go about that purpose? But the purpose ain't never changed, right? So that's when I realized that's when I started to survive. That's when I understood how to live life, right? Some people just merely exist. They're not living, they're existing. As life go on day by day, they exist day by day.
You know, you say that, I didn't realize I wasn't living life until my brother died.
Right.
Right. I was a drone. I didn't change my life. I'm running restaurants. I'm doing the same thing you doing. I'm employing a lot of young people and mentoring these young people and stuff like that. But everything was serious because I was shaking back from a street life. So since I'm shaking back from a street life, I'm trying to rebuild my life. So it's like taking the money serious, raising my children serious because I don't want them to fall into the same trap I fell into, right? And my brother died unexpectedly from a car accident.
Right. I remember
and
that.
if anybody really knew my brother, he was like a big clown, dog. This dude didn't care about nothing, right? He
Coolest fan.
Yeah, Mr. Party Central.
Shout out to brother, nigga.
Shout out to Clarence.
Yeah.
Shout out to Clarence. So what happened was, though,
all right, look, Clarence, shout out to brother.
I realized that I wasn't living.
Right. Right.
I realized, like, remember we used to sit on the corner and say stuff like, man, I don't care. You might get hit by a bus today. You know what I'm saying? Or catch a straight bullet. You know what I'm saying? So we use that excuse to be wild, right? But in this time, I done matured a little bit, and it's like, dang, I could really just die tomorrow from an accident.
Right.
And I really don't have no memories of nothing.
I won't live now.
So then I started living. You know, that's when the trips overseas came into play. You know what I'm saying? You know, taking bigger family vacations, being more willing to like give myself to others, you know, like, showing up for people,
take a cruise.
Yeah, just started living life. And from that point, all kind of doors go. Because then I came susceptible to meeting and hanging with other people. Right. So when my element was only hood people
outside of your normal circle.
Right. Now I'm hanging with other nationalities, and all this other kind of stuff. Started doing stuff, hopping out of airplanes, jumping off cliffs, all this other kind of stuff. But then those kind of relationships are being built.
Foolish thinking, I would think, jumping out of airplanes. But
I tried to talk him out that one. He said, he talking about that's all his bucket list. I said, I sure there's a way to go out.
Thinking, I would think, but I understand
Let me tell you what my son says. Look,
I see where you're going.
Let me tell you what my son told me about that. He said, so you scared to jump out of a plane, but you wasn't scared to, hang on the corner and get in shootouts and all that other kind of stuff. That's kind of backwards, right? So
I felt
I was on the ground. I was able to control some of that shit.
you can't control who's spinning the bin on you.
On the ground. I know how to move.
Listen, I tell you this, B, we might have could control who spin the bin, but I can control what happened once you spin it.
See, but look.
Say, bro, I got a partner who thought he didn't think so much of my buddy. Man, when my buddy told him he jumped out of fucking planes for a living in the army, my dude thought he was the smartest cat in the world. I said,
hey, listen, I was YOLOing before Drake. You see what I'm saying? You only get one of these things, and that's what I got out of my brother passing away. You only get one of these things. So
you get one, B. You get one. You get one.
Yeah.
You know what?
But I want to tap into something you were saying, dude. Because we started this podcast off running it up on some old New Orleans stuff and surviving in the streets and everything. But I had certain things in my life that turned me back to a point where I wound up going back to school and becoming a social worker. Because I wanted to help my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something like I don't really like talk about a lot, because a lot of times you talking to cats in our environment is like social worker, like what is that? You know what I'm saying? And all that kind of stuff, right?
That's almost like you saying you're a nurse.
Right. But the thing about it is, to me,
man, that's some top-notch money.
Is an honorable title because it's about giving back. They call it the helping field. And I wanted to do just what you said, dude. I wanted to put myself in a position to help these young cats, before they go to prison, when they come home from prison, these little girls, before they get pregnant or after they get pregnant. Because a lot of times when we go to them little agencies for help, they don't have nobody that look like us in there.
Right.
You know, especially black men anyway. You know what I'm saying? They be full of black women, but you know, you're a black man, you walk in a place needing help, or a young black boy needing help, ain't no black men in there for you. You know, so I try to switch it up to make a difference, because I too feel like I caused so much debt and destruction in them 90s that if I'm still here, I need to be paying it back. You know,
definitely, most definitely.
So if I might could chime in, and I'm gonna hit what you just said, B, and what's going on in the city of New Orleans right now, as far as the homeless population.
Wow.
Right.
Where you know what I'm saying, where they try to put the, you know, take the people from up under
the bridge.
The punch, what is called with the bridge as we know
the Punch Train Expressway.
But it's the Punch Train Expressway. Correct. There you go, brother. And they displaced them somewhere out in, I don't know where they displaced them. I see it on the news. But I say that to say this. The governor, Landry, put these people there when he denied the same organization that had somewhere for these people to go, and had a 3-year plan for them. Had a 3-year plan for them to go be housed for at least 3 years. He shut that down. But then Super Bowl is coming. Super Bowl is here. This is a beautiful thing. Super Bowl is here. But now we got to do something with these people. He used 3 times the amount of money to get these people out of the way for the Super Bowl for 2 months.
I mean, you got to think about it, though. It's economics, though, right? Because at that time, wasn't no money to be made off of moving them. So you're going to pay 3 times the amount right now to get them out the way, right, for 2 months. But the revenue you're going to make off the Super Bowl is going to be 5 times that. Because you're trying to portray.
Well, of course. And you're right. But what I'm saying is the people who tried to move the people had a plan before the Super Bowl shit.
Yeah, but their plan wasn't gonna make no money. Their plan wasn't gonna make no money. It always go back to money.
There you go. There you go.
You know?
Right. But it was a plan to house these people for 3 years.
Wow. Yeah, but that wasn't in the budget.
Now they only housing their asses for 3 months.
Wow.
You know, but I mean, look, I guess this is a good segue right here, because you know, you just went political with that, but that just go into a lot of stuff we see going on in this country right now with, you know, the new president, well, the new old president, or whatever you want to call him, you know.
Talk that shit.
You know, I mean, a lot of stuff being passed, a lot of executive orders being made, and on the back end of it is all about money. And it's not about money for us making the country better. It's all about personal gain, right? It's dressed up to look like it's about making the country better, but really it's about personal gain. When you look at all the pieces that he put in place, all these people are already super rich people. And every position he done put them in, they benefit off of personally some kind of way by having that position. You know, you just made Elon Musk, you know, you got him dealing with the Treasury, which gives him access to every person in the United States' personal information, right? His business is information. So now he got access to all of our information. What do you think somebody who business is information get a hold of more information, what they're going to do with the information?
Hey,
you know,
that's the most. Hey, you become powerful by the information you have.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know, so I mean, everything these days is not about what's best for the people; it's about what's best for me.
Right.
You know.
That's right.
You know,
because ain't none of them is for the common man.
At all.
I don't fear none of them is for the common man, which is you, and
Right.
you.
But I'm gonna
Right.
tell you this: I'm an individual that didn't. I wasn't in a position to vote, and if I could have voted, I would not have voted for him. But I wanted him to win, right?
Wow.
Because the reason why I wanted him to win is because you got all these people that, for some reason, think a businessman that filed bankruptcy 7 times is a
Right.
brilliant businessman, right?
Right.
I don't know how you file bankruptcy 7 times and get considered a brilliant businessman, right? Well, he found a way to beat the system. So that says he's a con artist, right? So if he's a con artist, what you think he gonna do when you put him in position to run the whole United States, right? So I wanted him to win so he could tear it up. Just to be honest, if everybody complaining, maybe it needs to be tore up so it could be rebuilt. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so I mean, hey, everybody thought he'd do a better job. All right, let's put him in there. And I'm quite sure all them people that voted for him at the end of these 4 years, they're gonna wish they'd did something different.
Right. Say, hey, man, and I'm with you on that. Like, there's a part in the book, a smart book, man, in the word, man, where it said the people prayed for a king, prayed for a ruler, and prayed for a leader, and it was
Thank you,
like, nah,
Lord.
you don't, you know, God trying to, you don't need it, and they, yeah, we do, and when they got it, he put more work on them. He said it was 7 times worse, right?
Right.
Because they asked for it.
I want that right.
And what was going on now is they asked for it. So it's for a lot of people, like you've seen some people hurting, crying about the situation and saying, we trusted you, and like, okay, what you thought was gonna happen. So did them 7 business and them employees of those businesses trusted him.
Right.
And they no longer exist. So, but you know, it's crazy, man. Like, it's a lot going on, and right now all you can do is hope. hope that he at the end he's doing the right thing. Hope that it don't come back to bite you. Hope that, you know what I mean, that's opportunity there. But like I told people, whether you said right, that's what I'm trying to hope. That's all you could do is, I say, is hope. You know what I mean? Because ain't nothing coming in your pocket directly. So
right.
I didn't see what do that with yet.
Watch this here, bro. I'm still on my New Orleans shit. I'm hoping the Pelicans put it back together. I'm hoping the Pelicans put it back together. What's the chances on that happening?
Slim.
But I'm gonna tell you what I've been telling most people that's closely associated with me, right? Like, man, black people been going through struggles since we've been here. So this ain't gonna tear us down no further than we already been torn down, right? But what we do need to do is gel together as a community. And I'm not talking about the whole black community, right? Because guess what? Half the time we can't get along with the nigga across the street, right? But when I say community, I'm talking about you, dude. I'm talking about you, fam, right? So guess what? We know hard times coming. So if I'm up and you struggling and you need help with something, then it's my duty to help you. You see what I'm saying? During these times. Because all we got to do is make it through these 4 years that's coming. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, grab your people, hold them tight, and everybody make sure everybody all right. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to be it's about to be a time.
I like that, B.
Real rap, man. Hey,
you know,
hey, that's deep, man. You know, with that being said, man, you know, I gotta say, bro, I appreciate this moment, man. It's an epic moment, and they can't never take it away from you, take it away from us, man. But Delete That podcast, brought it here. You heard it here first, man. You got to hear some true stories, man. You got to hear from guys in some peculiar situations that's on air right now, man, that still managed to keep it 100 with you, no matter what you're going through. We always leave it with a positive word, but no matter what you're going through in life, someone always have it worse than you. Always look up
Absolutely.
instead of down, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're gonna find a lot by
Right.
looking up, because people still see a warrior, that they see a soldier, they see someone's fighting to get out. They're willing to help the people that's fighting for themselves. But if you already then gave up, nobody's trying to have a pity party but you.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? With that,
With that being man, we're doing. Can I chime in for a hot
go ahead,
second,
Joe.
bro? With that being said, man, there's a lot of I'm gonna say unhoused. I don't like to use the word homeless, but unhoused veterans are just pretty much unhoused citizens out there. And there's people who care, and there's places that you can go. With that being said, to help get a veteran off the street, or pretty much just any citizen off the street, go to nolaveterans.org and donate and help to get a veteran off the streets.
All right, Jill.
Too many homeless situations out there to whereas we where we can help.
For sure.
Good information, bro. Good information.
And say B, that even goes to the transitional housing program as well, for us where you at.
Right,
brother.
right.
We got a number of facilities that help to get you off the streets. Go to nolaveterans.org. Get a veteran off the streets.
Y'all heard it here first, baby. Delete that podcast. B, you have any inspiring words you want to leave the guests with, man? That tune in, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in and staying the course, watching alongside, man. You know, shout out, you know what I mean, to one of our music producers that produced a hot track for us, Sugar Slim. Man, shout out to Sugar Slim, man, for keeping it 100 and real with doing P, man. P is my co-host, couldn't be with us today, man, but you know what I mean? When we here, y'all know we here, baby. You know what I'm talking about? You can follow us on all platforms, man, on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. We're at Facebook. We're there, man. You can find us there at YouTube. You can find us there. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe button, and that share button. And after you hit that subscribe button, it's going to change into a bell. Press that bell and press all so you can get notified every time we going live, baby. We want to give it to you. We got more to give you, man. We're going to give it to you in another segment, though. We love y'all out there, man. You know, but be Jizzle, be Fly, the one and only, man.
I appreciate
live,
you for
man.
having me, bro.
Hey,
you know,
man.
I just absolutely appreciate you for having me. I just want to give a shout out to these young people, because we give them a hard time, yeah, bro. You know, but these young people out here achieving all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
break.
they're out here achieving all kind of
That's
stuff.
right, B.
I just want to tell them, keep pushing. You know,
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. You know, speaking of the young crowd, man, before I close it, man, you know, like I say, that motivational word on the way out, man. We see the young crowd, like I said, the difference between my era and you guys' era right now, if y'all listening out there, is the inspiration, the motivation that I see now of kids wanting to go to college is way higher than it ever was when we was in school. So,
right.
But that being said, I see more and more kids fighting for opportunity, fighting to live. For the ones that's pretending to be tough and wanting to join gangs and want to be in the streets, we fought to get out of the streets. We fought to live. You guys are fighting to die. It is the exact opposite. Choose life. Choose life. With that being said, find your higher power, man. Something that you can relate to and believe in. You know what I mean? I want to, what I believe in, you may not believe in. You know what I mean? But you have to find something that you could cling to out there and trust in and believe in and say, if I don't want to do it for myself, I want to do it for him. I want to do it for this. I want to do it. Find a purpose to keep on pressing forward every day. You know what I mean? And like I say, man, you heard it here first, man. From the Delete That podcast, man, where we come through and show y'all love and nothing but love. You understand me? And with that being said, we're going to let y'all hear a live from my boy as he turns Slim, huh? Yeah. Sugar Slim, man. Sugar Slim, yeah. Sugar Slim. Shout out Sugar Slim for the track, baby. If y'all want to get y'all music produced, you want to get you some fire tracks, make sure you reach out, man, to Sugar Slim. He on all platforms. You can find him there, man. You understand me? You can find him on SoundCloud and everything else that's loud. But you heard it here first with your boy Dude. You understand me? Shout out to B Love, man. B Fly. Shout out to Gio Jones, man, for coming through, man. These guys was inspirational, man. With that being said, baby, you know, I'm gonna leave y'all with the love. Agape, baby.